Ever heard of a forest that whispers your deepest fears back at you? Buckle up, folks, because that's exactly where we're heading today. In the heart of an uncharted wilderness, shrouded in mystery and wrapped in chilling tales, lies the Whispering Woods. Legend tells of a spectral phenomenon that turns these woods into a living, breathing entity. It is said to echo the fears of those who dare to tread its shadowy paths. The whispers are not just any murmurs, but echoes of your own mind, your deepest, darkest fears being played back to you in an eerie chorus of unseen voices. They say the woods are haunted, not by ghosts or ghouls, but by the very essence of fear itself. The trees, the leaves, the very air you breathe becomes a mirror to your soul, reflecting your innermost fears. Now, imagine you and your friends, armed with nothing but flashlights and a bucket load of curiosity, decide to explore this eerie place. Sounds like a fun weekend, right? So there you are, stepping into the abyss of the Whispering Woods. The trees seem to lean in, as if listening, and you think, hey, what's the worst that could happen? Your merry band of adventurers, full of laughter and bravado, begins the journey deeper into this mysterious forest. You're all cracking jokes, laughing at the absurdity of the situation. After all, who in their right mind would venture into a forest rumored to be haunted? But then again, whoever accused you of being in your right mind? As you tread the foliage-strewn path, the laughter begins to die down. The trees grow denser, their branches intertwined like the arms of spectral gatekeepers, and the sunlight struggles to pierce the thick canopy. The atmosphere grows thicker, like a fog of unease settling over the group. You try to shake it off with a joke, but it falls flat, swallowed by the silence. You realize it's not silent, not entirely. There's a whisper, a hushed conversation carried by the wind. You tell yourself it's just the rustling leaves, the creaking branches, the natural soundtrack of the forest. But there's something unnerving about it, something that makes your heart race. The forest seems to close in, the path ahead narrowing, the trees looming overhead like ancient giants. The jokes have long since ceased, replaced by a palpable tension. Every crunch of leaves underfoot sounds like a shout in the quiet. Every snapped twig echoes like a gunshot. You try to keep the mood light, to dispel the unease with humor. What's a ghost's favorite dessert? You ask, trying to inject some levity. I scream! But the joke falls flat, the laughter feels forced. You can't shake the feeling of being watched, of being listened to. And that's when you hear it. The first whisper. It's almost like the wind, but not quite. It's a sound that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You tell yourself it's just the wind, but then the whispers start to get personal. There's a certain intimacy to fear, isn't there? Like a secret admirer, it knows just what to say to make your heart race. And in the Whispering Woods, fear has a voice. Our intrepid explorers, braver than most, or perhaps just more foolish, are about to discover this firsthand. Imagine for a moment you're walking in a forest. The moon barely lighting your path, there's a rustling in the leaves, and you think, it's just a squirrel. Then you hear it, your name whispered so softly you could almost believe you've imagined it. But then it comes again, this time with a secret only you know. Now, that's not something a squirrel is likely to bring up, is it? It's a peculiar thing, to have your deepest fears vocalized by unseen entities in the middle of a haunted forest. It's not exactly the kind of pep talk you want when you're miles from civilization. But hey, at least they're not sugarcoating it, right? Our crew starts to hear these whispers, each one tailored to their individual fears. For some, it's a long-forgotten embarrassment. For others, a hidden dread. It's a smorgasbord of personal anxieties, served up fresh by the Whispering Woods. Talk about customer service. But as unnerving as it is, there's a certain gallows humor to the situation. After all, nothing quite breaks the ice like shared terror. There's laughter, shaky and uncertain, but laughter nonetheless. It's the kind of laughter that says, we're in this together, no matter how creepy it gets. And let's be honest, who could resist cracking a joke or two? If you're going to be scared out of your wits, you might as well have a laugh while you're at it. After all, they say laughter is the best medicine, although, in this case, a map out of the forest might be more useful. Suddenly, this isn't just a fun adventure anymore. You're stuck in a haunted forest and it knows your name. Now, you're not just dealing with a spooky forest. You're dealing with a spooky forest that's got your number. You've got to hand it to the Whispering Woods. It really knows how to put on a show. The whispers are no longer murmurs, they're demanding, they're chilling, and they're all around you. Imagine this, they grow louder, more insistent, as if the forest itself is closing in on you. The trees seem to lean in closer, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. It's like being in the world's worst game of telephone. And the message is clear, get out. But how do you escape a forest that doesn't want you to leave? You've tried retracing your steps, but it's as if the path has disappeared. Every tree looks the same, every shadow seems to hide a new terror. You're in a real-life maze, and the prize isn't cheese, it's survival. The whispers rise to a crescendo, a symphony of spectral voices that makes your blood run cold. It's as if every ghost story you've ever heard has come to life, and they're all here, in the whispering woods, waiting for you. But you're not about to become another ghost story. You're not about to be another tale told around a campfire. You're going to escape. So you keep moving, keep pushing forward, even when your legs feel like they're made of lead, even when your heart is pounding so hard you're sure it's going to burst. And then, just when you're about to give up, just when you're about to become part of the forest, you see it, the edge of the forest, the way out. You run, faster than you've ever run before, the whispers fading into the distance. You burst out of the forest, gasping for breath, your heart still pounding. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, you see the edge of the forest. You've made it out, but you'll never forget the whispers. So, what's the moral of the story? Maybe it's don't go into haunted forests. Or maybe it's listen to the whispers. They might teach you something about yourself. Or perhaps it's a blend of both. Take a moment to ponder over it. Could it be a metaphor for the subconscious fears we often ignore? Or was it simply a tale of a haunting adventure? The beauty of such stories is that they offer a variety of interpretations, each as valid as the other. Our journey through the Whispering Woods was thrilling, terrifying, and enlightening all at once. It goes to show that sometimes the most spine-chilling stories can also be the most thought-provoking. Thanks for joining us on this spooky adventure. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more chilling tales. And remember, folks, the next time you hear a whisper in the wind, it might just be the trees trying to tell you something.